What's up, everybody? Hey, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, got some time with the family. Santa brought you everything that you wanted. And then we got New Year's right around the corner. And hey, I just want to thank everybody for 2024. The channel has doubled again. We had over 6 million views in 2024. Seriously, that is a big number. And if we continue this same growth pattern, we will get 12 million next year. So thank you guys. I appreciate everything. I'm going to talk about KTM and what happens with them when they have this downfall. What is it going to do to the market? Alden Baker's allowing cameras into the boot camp. This is something I don't think we've seen before, the way they're kind of documenting these guys' progress. I got some thoughts on that. We'll get into that in a minute. And do you remember Yevgeny Bobryshev, the Russian GP rider whose dream was to come over here and race, but then he was not allowed to race? I got an update on Yevgeny. But don't forget, if you've got some aches and pains, head over to Nano Extreme. This cream is amazing. It's helped me with my shoulder, my knees. The stuff is just awesome. If you're not using it and you have some pain, you are doing yourself a disservice. Use code Cooksey and get free shipping. And with the new year, if you want to get in shape, hit up Complete Racing Solutions for $15 a month. Coach Rob can share his wealth of knowledge in getting you on a program that will get you in shape for 2025. Head over to CompleteRacingSolutions.com.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So I want to start today with Yevgeny Bobryshev. This is the Russian or rider who ran under a Russian license in the GPs. He was 35 years old when this happened, and what he was going to do is he finished up racing the GPs. His dream was to come over here and race in the United States. He had a ride lined up. He was over in Florida training. He was all set to ride the outdoor nationals. And then Russia invaded Ukraine. Keep in mind, Yevgeny lives in Netherlands. His wife is half Ukrainian. This is not a guy who's really invested in Russian politics. It's not somebody, by keeping him out, you're not doing anything to anyone except for virtue signaling. So when the FIM and the AMA got together and said anyone with a Russian license is banned because Russia invaded Ukraine, this is one of the most hollow virtue signaling destructive mentality things that we could possibly ever do. This is Davy Coombs and Luongo virtue signaling. So what's virtuous about this? I don't know. I really don't. This has nothing to do with racing. Blocking a guy who had a Russian license from racing in the US or anywhere else in the world, that's just cruel. That's just stupid. That's adding dumb onto dumb. And I don't want to get into the argument of Ukraine versus Russia and vice versa. That has nothing to do with dirt bikes. That has nothing to do with our countries. This has nothing to do with Yevgeny wanting to live out the last few years of his career at 35 years old and race his dream and finish out the AMA series and make a living. But these knuckleheads in power somehow think it's virtuous to jump onto this and say, oh, well, he's a Russian and this is what we do. We don't love Russian. Well, I don't think the UFC has any problems with it. Has that been a problem? No. Have any other sports? Yeah, maybe a couple, but they're knuckleheads. There's no reason for dirt bike racing to participate in any sort of political agendas whatsoever. But this is a perfect example of Davy Coombs and Luongo, who runs the GP series. What they're doing here is they're trying to act virtuous. This is what they do. They want their reputation to seem like they're such good people and they care so much while they rob you blind, while they don't pay riders. In the GPs, they don't pay riders anything. They don't pay them anything. In the United States, it's laughable how much they pay them. It's more, it's something, but it's nothing like it should be. Don't let them fool you on this. They're not doing this because they feel like, oh, this is unjust and Russia shouldn't attack Ukraine. This is not even actually why they're doing it. They're doing it for their own personal reputations. They're doing this so that they look virtuous, so they look like they have principles and morals and they're doing the right thing. I hope people can see that. And they have destroyed Yevgeny's career. That's not okay. Since that war started, and like I said, keep in mind, Yevgeny is also a Netherlands citizen. His wife is half Ukrainian, so punishing him does nothing. It absolutely establishes nothing and does nothing for anyone. This poor guy has had to struggle and find a way to make a living because he's a dirt bike racer, and they have robbed him of his 3 years. When you're 35 years old in dirt bike racing, you are in the twilight. They have robbed him of his last few years of really high level racing because they want to look virtuous. I reached out to Yevgeny, and I mean, he's kind of made peace with the situation and he's doing his own thing. I want to talk to him and see what he's up to. So hopefully I can get Yevgeny on this week and just update you on his progress and where he's at. This is one of the dirtiest things that I've seen Luongo, Coombs, and this whole mafia. This is one of the most dirtiest things that I've seen them do. And they were trying to look virtuous. That's literally all they were trying to do. At this point, all it comes down to is them wanting the appearance that they're good people, but they are destroying an innocent victim in Yevgeny Bobryshev. They have destroyed and robbed him of 3 years of his life and his career because they wanted to look good. That's embarrassing, it's disgusting, and it should tell you who these people really are. But hopefully I can get Yevgeny on this week and we can update his progress and let you guys know how he's doing. So Alden Baker and the Baker Factory have gotten into the YouTube game. They're documenting boot camp, and they're showing a lot of the footage with AP, Malcolm, RJ, and Justin Barcia as they prep for the season. Now, the Baker Factory, they've got a weird, it's not rocket science. The Baker Factory is exactly that. It's a factory. They ride, they train, they sleep, they repeat this, and it is a grind. It does wear some people down, and there's a lot of people who've been fatigued from this type of training, and it's not as scientific or cutting edge as a lot of people like to think it is. But the thing is it has results. It's got proven champions who came out of the Baker Factory. So everybody ignores some of the other stuff. It works for some people. If someone doesn't have a serious drive or needs structure, this is a perfect program for them. If somebody's self-motivated, they already have their fitness, might not be the best program for them. I like what Club MX does, where they bring them in, they do more drills, they do different type of stuff to freshen it up. Alden Baker, like I said, it's a program. It's not flashy. They come in, they do their motos, they do their workouts, and they work hard. That's the formula. It works for some. And like I said, you can't argue with the results, but there's also some results on the other side. But it's really, I'm glad that they have allowed us to take a look inside at this program and see how it is. This is a program to watch as this whole KTM thing falls apart. They have a deal where they get their riders from the Pierre Group riders, and they have a deal with Alden to where they bring these riders in. The riders pay Alden in this world-class facility. That's the other thing you get when you're part of the Baker Factory. You have 3 tracks. You have a world-class mechanics area to fix your bikes. You have the best gym. Like, everything you need is there. He just forces them to put in the work. And it does yield results for a lot of guys. But how is he going to recover? How is he going to maintain this world-class facility if these Pierre Group riders don't get the money that's owed to them? That's going to be kind of stressful. Because if the riders don't get paid, he doesn't get paid because they pay the riders. And the agreement that Alden has with them is they provide him with a certain amount of riders. He doesn't bring in any other brands, and he's Pierre Group exclusive. And if they can't give him enough riders, they would compensate him for the difference in what it needed to get those riders. And that's why they kind of pressure them or force them to go use Alden and his services, because they know if they hire a rider, Alden will hold them accountable and make sure these riders do their work. And it's been a good fit for these, for both Alden and the brand for the time that they've come. And the reasons they're failing have nothing to do with Alden. And I will tip my hat to Alden for keeping the atmosphere there focused on the job at hand, because the way things are unfolding at KTM, this thing could really fall apart. The negative attitudes that would creep in, it's really difficult to do your job not knowing if your paycheck's going to clear. They've been able to block that out. And I will credit a lot of that to Alden and just saying, hey, all you can control is your job. Do your job. And the thing about these riders is, for guys like Malcolm and Barcia, if they lose this ride and they can't prove that they can still win races, there's a good chance they don't end up with rides anymore. This might be the end of their careers, because the way the series is set up, if you buy your own bikes and go racing, you cannot make enough money to sustain yourself. The purse money is garbage. You have to be on a team that has outside sponsors that can pay your expenses. And if you really want to make any big money, you have to get the bonuses from the manufacturers. Will these guys be able to get that? It's going to be a weird time. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the series to make sure these guys don't just go away, because we could lose a lot of really good riders who have good years left in them because there's not enough money to keep them out there. On the bright side, we're going to see teams like Firepower Honda, Ducati, and Triumph getting some high-level riders for pretty bargain prices. The market for really good riders is going to be deep coming into 2026. So they're going to have their pick of the litter when it comes to these guys, and they're not going to have to pay some of these outrageous salaries that we've heard in the past. It sucks for riders, but that will be good for Triumph and Ducati and some of these upstart teams that are really trying to just establish themselves. And you're going to see some of the privateer teams getting riders that they probably wouldn't normally get, because where else are they going to go? If you haven't checked out Epic Garage Designs, I strongly recommend it. Some of the coolest cabinets, slat wall, and stuff for your garage. Check out epicgaragedesigns.com. If you need some goggles, hit up Ride Strapped. Coolest goggles, glasses, shirts. Hit up ridestrap.com. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport. This is a family-owned shipping company that really takes pride in customer service, reasonable pricing, so hit up pretransport.com. So we are already seeing the effects of the Pierre Group fallout. Daniel Blair and some of these guys that have jobs that aren't necessarily money-making propositions for the brand, they're great and they bring in these good riders, they develop talent. But when they start chopping up this company, anyone who doesn't bring in revenue will be gone. So Daniel's left. I reached out to him. I don't know what he's doing, but he said he's got something pretty good lined up. So we'll see what Daniel, whoever gets Daniel gets a badass guy with so much to give this industry. I hope he stays in it. And these other brands cannot be happy about what's happening with KTM. They have a backstock of 3 years of motorcycles they have to get rid of to deal with this debt. Once these companies start chopping it up and selling them off, the price of these motorcycles is going to drop. That is going to kill the market for Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and these other brands. They're not going to be able to sell them for their sticker prices, because why would someone pay sticker price when they can get a KTM, Gas, or Husqvarna who make great bikes for super cheap? They're going to get these rebates. They're going to fire sell these things to liquidate, to get that money to pay their debtors. This could be detrimental to those factories, and they're going to have to slow down their production. Are they going to have layoffs? This is a bad situation for everyone involved. And man, I'm just so disgusted with the management of KTM and the Pierre Group that they've done this. And I know why they've done this and how they've done this. And it's just pure ego and bad decisions. They can blame the market, but it's not the market. The market goes up and down. They made horrible decisions, literally ignored people who told them, don't do this, this is wrong, we can't sustain this, and they did it anyway. I am kind of excited to see a lot of motorcycles get out there. It sucks that it's going to flood the market and hurt the current manufacturers. Hopefully they're smart enough to plan for this, because it is going to happen. But what is it going to do? Are we going to get more people riding? Is it going to be good for the industry overall to have more people get bikes and get them back out there? What will it do to the market? It's going to change things a lot in the next 3 years. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I'm going to be watching it very close. And I hate this part of it. We lost a couple legends. Denny Stevenson's father, Don Stevenson, who I remembered always out there with that pit board supporting Denny. I never got to meet Don, but I heard nothing but good things. This was a hard-nosed, tough guy who really had his kids back no matter what. Rest in peace, Don Stevenson. Another gentleman who is just, I have nothing but respect for. It's hard to find in this industry somebody who nobody has anything bad to say about him. I've never heard anyone say Dave Feeney was anything but a hard-working, amazing mechanic and a great guy to be around. And that's, like I said, when you're in the industry for that long, it's hard to find somebody that won't say something negative about you. And I never did. I never really heard anyone say anything negative about Dave Feeney. He will be missed. So my best goes out to their families, and we're going to miss both those guys. All right, guys, we are at the end of December. I will be drawing for the custom painted CRS helmet from 6D. Coach Rob has contributed this thing, and we're gonna draw. Anyone who's a current member, we're going to pick a random number. I'm going to count through the members, and that person will win the helmet. We'll contact them. We'll get their size. We'll have this thing custom painted and shipped out to you, and then we will be doing another drawing. I'm gonna keep drawings going all year long. That's the plan. So thank you, members. Everyone who's a member is automatically entered to win any of these drawings, and I appreciate you guys so much. So anyway, hey, if you guys haven't checked out Moto Memes, they come up with the funniest stuff. And yes, they roast me quite often, and I don't even care. I appreciate it. It's so funny. I can't even get mad. Thanks, guys, and I'll catch